What's going on, guys? Welcome back to your channel. I do have some mounts on the bench, and this is a tank. And you might be wondering, whoa, oh shoot, you're doing a tank for once. Actually, no, this is actually my very second tank I've ever done. My very first one was years ago, and I kind of want to start doing tanks again because tanks they're very cool. I love building these. Since the first one I built, which was a monogram tank, and that tank was actually a pain because it's monogram and yeah, but for some reason I liked it. But this is a Tamiya kit. So I remember when we kind of think this is. This is a Tamiya kit. It's an M3 Bradley. So you might be wondering why am I doing this? I thought I was done building for a year, but I forgot I had this in my stash, and this is actually going to be a Christmas present for my dad. My dad served in the military. I know some of you may know that. Just in case you didn't know, my dad served in the military, and he worked on and fixed tanks. He worked on them and all that fun stuff. And this is, of course, being one of those tanks, which is a battery. And this is actually a pretty cool tank. And it's kind of hard to believe my dad actually worked on this thing. So it's actually very, very cool. So let's go ahead and give you a breakdown what I did to it. So the best part about tanks is tanks are actually much easier than cars. It's because most tanks, or not, I don't say most, all tanks basically, are camouflage and they're all painted in one color. The wheels, everything. Which military do that in real life. They assemble the whole tank and then they just paint the whole thing in one color and they camouflage it. So that's basically what you do with model tanks. You just assemble basically the whole thing. Which I done here. I kept the shovel separate because I do want to paint that separately. So there's a shovel that goes right under there. So I'm going to keep that separately so I can paint that up. But that's really the only thing I've done separate. But yeah, assembled the whole thing, and this whole thing took about 4 hours, a little over 4 hours to do. Which is actually not bad. I mean, there's a lot of parts to this. I mean, the top portion of the tank, there's a lot of parts. I mean, you don't think there's a lot, but there's a lot. And then the turret, there we go, turret. there's probably at least 50 to maybe 70 parts just on a turret alone, which is pretty insane. Just the amount of detail these my kids have. So very cool. So there's actually two different versions that you can do this tank. This tank is painted, was actually in war of two different wars. I'm not sure the main war, but there's two different versions. There's a desert tank and there's also like a wilderness tank. And my dad actually worked on the wilderness tank, wilderness. There we go, like trees and stuff. So the desert tank is obviously like dirt, like sand. It's just like this kind of, how it's molded in. It's like sand color. But my dad didn't do this one. He worked on the green version, which is camouflage. It's green and black. I'll put a picture on your screen right now, give you an idea of what the actual thing looks like that he worked on. And the colors we're gonna do it in is we're gonna do Flejo, olive green, and then for the black camouflage, we're just gonna use flat black from Tamiya. So pretty simplified, pretty simple colors. I am gonna leather this tank on the tracks and stuff. I kept the tracks off, obviously, and this is awesome. This is not glued on. The cannon or the turret is not glued on. I can take that off. I can take the top portion off. It comes right off, so I can paint them separately and paint the wheels and stuff, nicely. So, but yeah, the bottom half, this part, and the cannon and the turret, it all pops off. So it's not glued on in place, and so I can do some weathering and stuff. So I'm gonna use some of the Mega mud. I do want to do some mud on this, so I'm gonna do what's this? This is wet mud. We're gonna use some wet grind, and then we're gonna use some earth, damp earth. So we're gonna use some mud on this because my dad said these things were in mud like non-stop, and then every single one he said he worked on was just covered in mud. None of them were clean, obviously, so I do want to weather this up a little bit. He said my dad, I never heard him tell me there wasn't really much rust on this kit, or on the tank. You know, what tanks don't really rust that much. Just the tracks do. But he said the tracks were not really rusty. But he said they're just really muddy. The tracks are just covered in mud and just thick piles of mud. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna camouflage it as best as I can. So this kit's actually pretty cool. There's actually quite a few opening doors. This one is actually opening door. This one does open. I can probably pop right here in front of you. But this is how you get in and out of the tank. There we go. That opens. That's pretty cool. The turret ones do open. I just probably can't do it on camera, but these two up here do open. And then the door back here, it can open. I didn't want to open it because it doesn't stay shut, so I just glued it shut. And plus, I didn't want to open it because there's not really much detail. Well, there isn't any detail inside the tank, so I just glued it shut because there's no detail in the tank and there's not really much to see. But this does open. There's hinges and stuff, and it does open. You know, close and it opens and closes like a Tamiya kit. You know, it's beautiful. But this opens. It's actually pretty cool, and it closes. Very neat. Up here, we're on the turret where the gunner goes. This little hatch right here, and that you can choose to keep open or closed. There is a little piece of glass. That's the glass for the turret window. And I was thinking to keep it open, but there's a bunch of like pins and stuff in there, and it kind of looks a little weird. So I just put it shut, and you know, it doesn't really matter. It's just sitting tank. It's not a tank gonna go straight into war, obviously, you know. But and also this thing moves. I'm not really sure what this is. I think this is like a rocket launcher type deal. I don't know about tanks, so these are obviously rockets right here. So those are pretty neat. And then I lost one, but it doesn't matter. It just imagine it shot one. But very cool. The thing went together. Beautiful, as expected, as a Tamiya kit. It is an older Tamiya kit. It's an older box art, or I don't think Tamiya's making this kit anymore. I'm not sure. We found this on eBay a few months ago, like 6 or 7 months ago. So I want to do it up for him, and then it'll be a good Christmas present for him. So this is actually pretty cool. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in paint. I'm gonna paint it today as this video is coming out, and then it might be a final probably tomorrow or on Saturday, because it's not, tanks don't really take much long. You know, tanks are they're not as complicated. They're not as, you know, you don't have to be as neat as cars. You know, cars take weeks if not months to do. But tanks, that's why I love tanks, and you know, they're just so cool looking. And I do have a couple more in my stash. I'll definitely do next year. So, but this is for my dad, and this is actually pretty neat. And I'll give you, before I wrap up this video, let's go ahead and give you a little peek of the actual cannon. There we go. You can see all the detail on this thing. I mean, all this was all separate except the window or the housing here, but this is separate. The back half is separate. This little guy's separate. All this was separate. I mean, these little guys are separate. You had to glue them in. I mean, there's a lot. The antenna frames are separate. These are separate. Obviously, the cannon separate, and all this, it's literally all separate, and you know, very cool. So, very neat. The only part was kind of finicky about this kit was putting on this back half. And line it up to this. It doesn't, you know, you gotta hold it there for the glue to set, but that's really the only issue, not much. And there's a lot of tiny parts, like the hinges. These little hinges are separate also. Where's that pointer? These little guys are separate also, so you gotta line those up so these guys can open. Which they should. I'm not sure they do. Maybe some glue kind of got in there by accident. But whatever. I'm not too worried about it. But very, very cool. And then it just slides it on. And then there we go. Clicks in, and just very, very cool. So when I paint it, I'm gonna take the top portion off. I'm gonna leave the turret on because it's camouflage. It's gonna be the same camouflage, and then I'll paint this all one unit, and then it'll be pretty cool. So next time you see this, it's gonna be final. I might do an update. I'm not sure about do update, but I'm not doing that. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna do some mud and all this stuff in the tracks and all of these drive wheels and all this fun stuff. So I'm gonna have fun with this stuff, and this is brand new, so I'm gonna have some fun with some mud. So very cool. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll catch you guys next time. Bye for now.